All right, let's talk about solving problems. And I don't mean just slopping a Band-Aid on them. I mean fixing them for good.
You know that one problem, the one at work or maybe even at home, that just won't die? You think you've fixed it and then boom, it's back again. It is so frustrating, right?
Well, there's a really simple reason for that. It's because we're usually just fixing the symptoms. It's like putting a tiny bandage on a huge wound. We're so caught up in the immediate fire that we never stop to ask what started it.
So that's what we're going to tackle today. We're going to look at a super simple but powerful technique. We'll break down what it is, exactly how you can use it, see a couple of real-world examples, get real about its limits, and then you'll have a brand new tool in your problem-solving toolkit. Let's do it. Okay, first things first. We're talking about getting past those quick surface-level fixes. This is really about a shift in mindset, you know? It's about stopping ourselves from just reacting to what's broken and starting to ask the most important question. Why did this happen to begin with? And the tool that gets us there? It's called the 5 whys. Seriously, think of it like peeling an onion. Each time you ask why, you peel back another layer, getting closer and closer to the real heart of the issue. It's a surprisingly simple way to get to some really deep answers. So, what is it really? I mean, the fancy definition is that it's an iterative problem-solving technique for cause and effect. But forget the jargon. Here's what you really need to know. The entire point is to dig down to the actual root cause of a problem. Why? Because once you find that, you can build a solution that makes sure the problem never, ever comes back. And get this isn't some new age management fad, nope. This thing was developed all the way back in the 1930s by Sakichi Toyota at, you guessed it, Toyota. It was a core part of their legendary production system. And even today, it's a cornerstone of huge methodologies like Lean, Six Sigma, and Kaizen. So yeah, it's safe to say this technique has some serious street cred. Okay, enough talk, right? How do you actually do this? Let's walk through a simple step-by-step guide you can literally start using today. The process itself is almost ridiculously simple. Step 1, define the problem. Be super clear about what's wrong. Then, step 2, you just start asking why. And for every answer you get, you ask why again. You keep doing this, digging down until you hit the real root cause. And here's a huge hint. The root cause is almost never a person. It's usually a broken process. Once you find that, then you can build a real solution and actually fix it.
Now, there are a few key things to keep in mind to make this work really well. First, this is a team sport. Don't try to do it all by yourself. You need those different viewpoints. Second, this is a no-guess zone. You have to use facts and evidence, not just what you think happened. And finally, just know that sometimes you'll uncover a couple of different root causes. That's okay. You might just have to follow more than one path to get to the bottom of things.
Okay, theory is one thing, but seeing this in action is where it really clicks. So let's look at 2 totally different examples to see just how powerful and flexible this tool really is. Let's start with the classic example from Toyota. The problem: a machine suddenly stops. Okay, so why number 1? Well, a fuse blew. Simple fix, right? Not so fast. Why number 2? Why did the fuse blow? Because a bearing overloaded and seized up. Ah, okay, getting warmer. Why number 3? Why did the bearing seize? Because it wasn't getting enough lubrication. And why number 4? Why was there no lubrication? Because the oil pump wasn't circulating enough oil. We're almost there. Final question. Why number 5? Why wasn't the pump working right? Because the pump's intake was totally clogged with metal shavings. And there it is. The real problem wasn't the fuse. If you just replaced a fuse, it would have happened again. The root cause was a process failure. There was no filter to catch the shavings and no maintenance schedule to check the pump. See that? We went from a broken part to a broken system. That is the magic of the 5 whys. All right, now let's jump to a completely different world, healthcare. The problem: a patient was given the wrong medication dose. A serious issue. So, why number 1? A nurse gave the wrong amount. Okay, easy to blame the nurse, but let's dig. Why number 2? Why did they give the wrong dose? Because they misread the label. Okay, and why number 3? Why did they misread it? Because the communication during the shift handover was really inconsistent. Aha, now we're onto something. Why number 4? Why was the communication so bad? Because there was no standardized protocol for handovers. And the final, big one, why number 5? Why wasn't there a standard process? Because nobody was ever properly trained on one. And again, look what we found. The root cause wasn't one bad nurse. It was a failure of the entire system. There were no standard procedures and there was no training. You could tell everyone to be more careful 100 times,
but that wouldn't fix the problem. You have to fix the system itself.
Okay, so this tool is obviously super powerful, but let's have a quick reality check. It's not a silver bullet. It's not the perfect tool for every single problem, and it's really important to know when not to use it.
So let's break down the pros and cons. The big benefits? It's incredibly simple to learn and use. It gets your team collaborating, and it forces everyone to think critically. Awesome. But the limitations? Well, for really complex problems with tons of moving parts, it can sometimes be too simple. Its success also hinges entirely on the team having the right facts. And, this is a big one, you probably wouldn't use it for a super high-risk failure where you need a much more formal, robust analysis.
So, if you're staring down a problem that has like a dozen different potential causes all tangled together, or if a failure could have catastrophic results, that's your cue to grab a different tool from the toolbox. You might look at something like a fishbone diagram, or even more heavy-duty stuff like FMEA or fault tree analysis.
But look, for the vast majority of problems we run into every day, the 5 whys is absolutely perfect. And honestly, it's more than just a process. It's a new way of thinking. It trains your brain to stop being satisfied with the easy answer and to always ask, okay, but what's really going on here?
So I'll leave you with this question. Think about it right now. What's that one annoying problem that just keeps popping back up in your world? Now that you have this simple, powerful framework, what's the first problem you're going to go solve once and for all?